but I know what I need to do. Anyway, it goes, I think, something like this. I want to welcome you to Crypto Never Sleeps on Sunday evening. In case you're new to this channel, you want to stay on top of the crypto world, then do me a favor, hit like, smash, subscribe, so that you can be notified every time we upload new videos, so that you can, and this is important to me, protect your wealth, preserve your wealth, and ultimately increase your wealth. My name is Nico Arachi, and I love Bahama Mamas on Sunday. Bahama Mama. Here we go. It is Sunday, so we are loud, right? But first things first is we need to look at the level of market manipulation, or just how the week is ending. So I'm down here. Cheers. It is interesting to see, right? Because I actually love to look at the Sundays because, yeah, the new week is starting, and sometimes, but it was back in 2021 when we had these flash crashes appear out of nowhere over the weekends. They haven't been around for a long time. We're looking at the 15-minute. The reason why we're looking at the 15 minutes is only to look at, usually we can see that these four charts, they move like soul brothers, like, you know, the correlation is, you know, almost 1-to-1. But in the past 2 weeks, we haven't seen that. Actually, since the news was announced that Ethereum was merging, we have seen the markets, these, you know, not correlate in this to the same extent. And let me tell you one thing, that is lovely. That is so good. We need that in order also for the markets to mature. Anyway, 22,816 up 2.5%. For Bitcoin, we got Ethereum up 6%. Nice. It's good to see. And then we got Cardano at 52. Wow, it went up a little bit, right? It's been hovering around those 46 cents on the dollar. And DOT has also been going up. Slowly, we're going to connect those dots. What are we seeing? Actually, have you noticed, if we look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, there the chart looks very similar. And I don't know if it's... they look a little different, all of them. That's good and nice to see. Anyway, I don't know what to make out of those four uncorrelated 15-minute charts today. But I'm the only, first of all, I'm the littlest, smallest channel on the interweb. But until now, we've been pretty good in predicting where things are going. And what I remember I started here, I don't know what it is, 6 months ago or whatever, and we started to look at the, because I'm not a firm believer in technical analysis, only to a certain extent, and I like to keep things simple. So I thought, let's look at the weekly with the 7-day moving average. And funny enough, it hasn't really disappointed us a lot, right? It's almost like this is, you know, it's so simple, but that's what we need to do. And in case you really want to see me a little bit bigger, well, here I am. What we are seeing here is, for the longest time, we have been able to use the 7-day moving average as a line of, once it breaks through either to the downside or to the upside, we pretty much can expect a turnaround. And we can see here now, unless in the next few hours something's gonna happen, you know, where I am in Ukraine, we're already in Monday, right? It's Monday. So it looks like we're gonna close above the 7-day moving average. Now, so, you know, I had to, you know, look a little, I got interested. How many times did it actually close above the 7-day moving average? And then what happened then? Now, obviously, we don't have time, you and I, to go through all of this. But I did kind of like most of the times when it closes, like you can see here. So on the very preliminary, and for God's sake, don't use this as any kind of indication of what's going on. And remember, you need to do your own research, right? Because in the end of the day, I don't know shit about crypto. So funny enough, I do think that we could perhaps see at least some positivity in the next week, right? Now, you never know. You mean, if you believe in this little 7-day moving average, go in and try to look through it yourself. It goes quick. But we are closing above it, meaning, and you know, some people are calling for the end of the crypto bear winter. For example, yeah, we're gonna look at that. So there are some voices there. I think it's going to be a turbulent week, and that's what we're going to look at also when it comes to the news. Ethereum has blasted through the 7-day moving average, right? So because even last week it closed above, and this week it's just been doing fine things. Now remember, we still have to see what's going to be. However, what I like to point out is that perhaps we are really seeing Ethereum, perhaps we're seeing the cryptocurrency industry or market coins decouple from the traditional markets, which we will need to see at some point, right? Because the traditional markets, they're going to be left behind, and the future of finance needs to take off. Now, that's one thing. I'm going to make myself smaller here again. But the other thing that I'm also thinking is that Ethereum, I've also said that a few times, Ethereum it's not correct, at least that's the way I see it. It's not correct that it only has a dominance of 18%. And the reason why, you see, Bitcoin has a dominance of 42 and Ethereum 18. No, I don't believe in that, because that's only when you calculate Ethereum by itself. But we all know that there's so many other protocols being built on top of on Ethereum, right? So I think that Ethereum has a much larger dominance, and that has something to say. We've broken through the 1 trillion. Yeah. Let's just quickly scroll through and see what we are seeing here. Well, now Bitcoin says it's down 1.3, but just update it. Maybe there's something. Yeah, there we go. We needed just to update it, right? It was from yesterday. And so let's just scroll quick. It's because I don't have, with the coins. Yeah, very good. And now I lost my screen. I don't know if you guys can see me. Let me know. If you can see me, then it's good. I just need to turn on the other television. Yes, I can see myself now. Sorry about this. We need to have some technical issues. Otherwise, it wouldn't be me. So all good here. It's just nice. It is nice to see green. Am I hopeful? I don't know, right? That's why we average in and average out. If it's gonna crash again based on what we're gonna see next week, then we're not gonna be too sorry. But of course, if crypto winter is over, it would be lovely, right? It would be lovely. Okay, there's not so much to say here. I'm just looking. Green across the board. Very nice. And then let's not spend time on that, because we do have other things that we need to talk about. But first, gotta go and say hello to all 10 sexy looking lions that are here today. James McLaughlin, he is here. He's always up for a good laugh. and we got Rogan 1K. And what are you saying? Looks ready for a send-off. Kensuku, maybe. I don't really know it. And we got Rabia Mahdi. Can you analyze Theta? Yeah, Theta. Let's have a look at that right after the news. But nevertheless, I think Theta is a great coin. By the way, there's always questions. What about Kitty's portfolio? And you can see it below. And these are the tokens, protocols that Kitty holds. Remember, I own nothing, and I'm pretty happy. DJ Kusama Ama is in the house. Kusama only coin with the future. And yesterday we were talking about Karura staking Kusama at 50. No, at how much was it even? I think almost like 70% staking Kusama. However, providing liquidity together with Karura. And on the Karura platform yesterday, or today actually, I found another lovely pair that I will also show you in the end. Generating one altcoin, Air, right? From Centrifuge, Ugly Cousin, on the Kusama network, all there. In combination with AUSD, more than 200% APR. Wow, now that's something that makes me happy. Michi, the Amase, I mean, it's good to see old friends. Field Marshal is here. What this is such Lee Prince. What's wrong with you guys? Sunday, you got nothing else to do. Anyway, I am honored, and let's move on. Expect a dump next week, and I think you could be right, Steve. I think you could right, and that's what we're gonna go over now. So let's move over to these lovely news that we need to go through. We need to. So first things first, and I want to point this out again. I've pointed out a few times. When we look at the Bitcoin's historical corrections, just going back to the last two, 13 to 15, took 14 months, and we saw a drawdown of 86%. From December 17 to January 19, it took 14 months again, and we saw 83% drawdown. Now, this time we've only seen 72%, and we're currently only like 10 months in. So if we were to see Bitcoin 12,000, based on this simplicity, it probably could take longer. That's why I would tend to agree with Steve there that I could be a bear party. However, even if it is a bear party, if it is a dead cat bounce, I still think that it's good to see a few days where we're going up, right? But just could be that it's just a dead cat bounce, as we said here. So what do we have here? The first piece of news came from, and I think that's not bad, Boston Consulting Group. And, I hope you know them. They're big consulting, one of the biggest in the world. And they came out with a report saying crypto to reach 1 billion users in 2030. Now that sounds good. That sounds to me like Web 3.0 and mass adoption, right? So according to their report published, they said that, so what they're doing is they're comparing traditional investment assets, crypto adoption. No, what they're saying is, compared to traditional investment assets, crypto adoption is still very low, but we know that, right? According to Boston Consulting Group, only 0.3% of individual wealth is invested in crypto, while 25% is in equities. The report concluded that the shallow penetration in terms of investment means there's plenty, I like that, of growth to come in the crypto industry. Let me just take this shit away, yeah. The report also compared the internet's adoption curve to 1 billion users to current crypto hodlers and Ethereum addresses with non-zero balances. So when they compared this data, the researchers were able to predict that by 2030, crypto users may reach 1 billion if the trend line continues in the course. All I gotta say is I love Boston Consulting Group. They're my kind of group. So so that's that. Then we need to go in, but there, what could happen, and I believe also, as Steve is saying, this week is going to be a heavy week. First of all, we're going to see the Federal Reserve Open Market Committee meeting, right? Good old whatever Uncle Joe there. I know it's not Uncle Joe, but so you see, that's the thing. Now listen to this. So this is why it could be a very volatile and turbulent week, because the FOMC meeting, they're meeting on the 27th, right? But the day after their meeting, then the US is going to publish its first estimate of second quarter GDP. And I think that is going to confirm that we are, in fact, in a recession based on, their, macro numbers, economic forecast, But the Atlanta Fed GDP now tracker sees a 1.6 annualized contraction in the April-June period. And however, the Bloomberg medium forecast, that out of the 55 forecasts they had, a dozen of them, almost 22%, project a contraction. I think so. It could be that we're going to see officially a recession. However, and this is also what I think. I mean, they're gonna blame it. They're going to blame it obviously on Putin for high prices and inflation. And what they're also going to do is that they're obviously going to blame those ugly cronies for the reason why we're seeing that. So they're basically, just put them here, even though we don't know what's going to happen to the monkeypox. So they're going to blame it. They're going to say that we had these two factors. And that's why this is a different recession. And so what they're saying is that what make it what is already highly unusual is that since 1970, unemployment consistently rose into a recession. But this time it's different because it has not risen and remains at 3.6%, which is also where it was in fourth quarter 2019 before COVID struck. Now, I hope you know that I don't believe any of those numbers anyway, right? I think they are homemade, they are made up, and we're basically following a circus, right? Now, he's a clown, right? Let's be honest, he's a clown. But this is what we get, so we need to kind of work with what we get. That's why I think that I can't imagine that it's going to be, this week is going to be turbulent, we have to see, but it's going to be, and somehow it's going to confirm negative outlook, and then it might go down quickly. It could even hit the 12,000, but then probably going to get some other news that this was due to unusual circumstances. Also, this lovely lady here that I absolutely adore. I mean, I wish I would have her as my sugar mommy. Yellen says signs of U.S. recession are not in sight right now, right? So she has lots of confidence in the Federal Reserve fight against inflation, and she said she doesn't see any sign that the U.S. economy is in a broad recession, right? But you remember Bush, right? when he made a fun after they had invaded Iraq, and he was like, well, there was, they were looking for weapons of mass destruction, right? And so they sent in, lots of troops from America and Great Britain and everywhere. And then in the end, Bush, he made a joke like, no bombs here, no bombs there. And I think Yellen is the same, like, no recession here, no there. Anyway, so she's expressing confidence in the federal, yeah, we said that. We are likely to see some slowing of job creation, but I don't think, or she doesn't think, my God, what I think is a different thing. So Yellen doesn't think that that's a recession. A recession, that's what she's, a recession is broad-based weakness in the economy, and we're not seeing that now. Now, remember that Yellen, she has a very good track record of lying, right? She's not on, I mean, if you look at her track record of how many times she tells the truth and how many times she lies, no, it's not a fine record, I have to say. Anyway, let me just think here. What else? So the next piece of, no, I just need Bahama Mama moment. Bahama Mama. So what's coming up next is geopolitical. Oh. What's new on that front? Also another circus. The first one is, and this is the biggest circus, the EU, they have decided to ease sanctions on Russian oil exports. So the EU, that's actually also what they did with Iraq in the past. I mean, that's what the European Union and what the US, and that's what they actually always do, funny enough. So the EU will allow transactions needed for Russian state-owned companies to sell oil to third countries. So basically what the EU came out and said is that, okay, you are allowed to sell oil to third countries. Well, that sounds good. So and the reason they're doing that is with a view to avoid any potential negative consequences for food and energy security around the world. The EU decided to extend the exemption from the prohibition to engage in transactions with certain state-owned entities as regards transactions for agricultural products and energy. How this works is that, for example, the European Union, right, they came out with sanctions for all 27 member states that they should not buy. They're not allowed, to buy any more gas and oil from Russia because we need to punish them. But what about the British Virgin Islands? Now, they are not a part, of those global sanctions, right? So I mean, maybe it's a little bit more complicated than what I'm explaining, but that's basically what it is. So there are lots of, BVI companies that are going to buy, all of a sudden, Russia's main client, basically, buyer of natural resources is going to be the British Virgin Islands. Something like that. So, so that's what's going to happen. Now, You could then move on and say, what about the Joker, the Jolly Joker, Zelensky, right, from Ukraine, the guy who always says, I don't need a ride, I need bullets. Well, it looks like he got fucked. And that's what it looks like to me, because, you see, he has been selling out the country, right? He's been selling out the country. And I always ask myself, right? I mean, this is the part where Russia are, and they've been there for quite a while, right? Not a while, but I mean, it's not like Russia is losing the war. But somebody sold Ukraine, especially their president here, the illusion that they could win the war. And some people here still believe that. So what America has done, right, when they say that they help Ukraine with 40 billion, yeah, but it comes with a bill, an invoice, a check, a payback soon, right? So it is help. But on the other hand, America didn't also really, or NATO for that matter, didn't really give them weapons that they had any real chance of winning and beating Russia. So what has happened, or what is going to happen, is Ukraine is going to be bankrupt, poorer than a church mouse. And yeah, I mean, Russia maybe has spent a little bit more, but they were making money anyway, right? Maybe they've used a few of their weapons arsenal, but in the end of the day, what's going to happen now? Russia can business as usual, and I don't think that Ukraine is going to get all this back. And what is funny is that every time that America, the NATO, is sending more weapons to Ukraine, and they're all like happy because now they're going to get some new weapons. The weapons, before they even reach here, are being bombed by targeted missiles by Russia. And but the press and media here doesn't write that is at the expense of the Ukrainian people. So the real losers are the people, but we know that. Anyway, so that's how that... It's good news, however, for the markets, right? It is very good news for the markets, and why we could actually potentially see the end of the crypto bear winter, if we should call it that, because if energy is going to be flowing again, we don't have to worry about a cold winter. Now, that's a good thing, right? However, furthermore, another piece of new news. China slams Japan's defense white paper smears and accusations. So the Chinese Foreign Ministry accused Tokyo of exaggerating the so-called China threat in its new white paper. The paper raised concerns about the tensions between mainland China and Taiwan, and described Russia's military action in Ukraine as a serious violation of international law. So China urged the Japanese side to immediately stop the wrong practice of exaggerating security threats in its neighborhood and finding excuses for its own strong military arsenal. We are still a crypto channel, right? But I do believe that geopolitics, they are important. But we're done. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? So let's see if anybody wants to have a chit chat. First of all, you gotta participate, because sharing is caring. Please. Next, the winner will be announced on Saturday. That's in a week, because since we have so little people watching, we need a few more to participate. All you gotta do is I don't know, share and subscribe or something like that. But important is that you have a compatible Binance smart chain wallet, because in case you win and there are not many people participating, you need to, so we can send you BUSD dollars. And yeah, let's see if anybody has something to chat about before we will look at Karura's platform, 270%. Oh, Mr. Len, how are you doing? Good to see you. Chaotic Rage is here too. He knows a thing or two about the geopolitical situation. Lee Prince is here. Let me know. So what do we say? Also not. So let me just see if there's any questions. True, the U.S. government doing nothing for free. Doing nothing for free. Persian Empire. It's the best to have sold this illusion. Yes, they have sold a good illusion, an asshole illusion, and the Ukrainian clown is buying it. No, he's not. I just feel it was unnecessary because the average people are going to lose. Anyway, what do you say, Rajam263? Also not much impact from Tesla selling. Yeah, you see, I also like that you say that, Rajman263. Last year, Elon Musk, he was like, he was being the Doge godfather and Bitcoin, whatever. And then he sells 75% of his Bitcoin and nobody cared. It's like, nobody cares about him anymore. I think he was just a part of the overall manipulation. I think that last year, I think the mainstream media, they needed to push, and I still think they will do that, by the way. You see, in order to get mass adoption is that when mainstream media is going to push it, and they will do it when the infrastructure of the Web 3.0 is good and ready. When that's good and ready, that's when the mainstream media is going to push it. And that's why you are here now. That's why I got to congratulate you that you're here now. Because you get in now at 80 to 90% discount from all-time highs. So that once we're going to see a turnaround, once we're going to see the infrastructure from the Web 3.0 being up and running smooth, then you're going to see mainstream media push it. Once they're going to push it, well, then we know where we're going. So, and what else? So, let's see. Yeah, so do we expect movement? I think we spoke about the movement. It's going to be a tricky week, though. So watch out, yeah? Yeah, what is my views on the FOMC meeting is that they always lie. You see, when you build a monetary system that is based on, on printing, whenever creating money out of thin air, and then you create some macroeconomic figures around it, and then they cheat you there too. It's very difficult to say. That's why I say that's why I'm saying this week, what I will guarantee you, what's gonna happen this week, there will be one piece of news that's gonna trigger the market in one direction, and then there will be the second piece of news that will trigger the news, or that will trigger the market in the other direction. I don't see this week that we're going to have a double confirmation going in one way, either up or down. So that's how I see it. So if the first piece of news is going to come out on Wednesday is going to be negative, then we could see a fatal crash, but then probably go up on Thursday. But it could also be that they have priced it in. We got to be, and in the end of the day, I don't really think even if the Fed is going to do 1%, it could still go up, because it was already priced in, or it was expected, or due to the fact that unemployment numbers came in better. I mean, they always have some reasons for the markets doing the opposite of what one would expect based on the logic of the numbers. So let me just see here, and that's about it. No, or what do you say, DJ Kosama? No dump next week. People get paycheck, so the price will go up next 2 weeks, and then a dump. Yeah, you see, I'm not sure, and that could also be. And let's go now in and look at Kavura. I also, if we look at the chart again, right? If we go in and look here, if we look here at BTC, this is the weekly. We have so many weeks down. Now we finally closed above the 7-day moving average. I tend actually really to believe, I don't think we're going to go down next week. I actually do think we're going to make another candle up. So I think my feeling would be that it's a good week next week, but this is not like where I predict it, but that's my feeling. A good week next week. Mighty fine week. Anyway, let's go in and look at Kavura, because I saw some sexy things there yesterday. Here we go. So you go in case you just want to see that. You can just log yourself in. Boom. Kavura, and it's keep growing. The ecosystem, obviously the Polkadot, Kusama, and everything. So many goodies here. I did talk about it yesterday in the stream. Just wanted to show you this, because this is what I'm gonna do for Kitty. Look at this lovely one. Provide liquidity to AUSD stablecoin and AIR, which is ugly cousin of centrifuge. So if we go in here and look, let's just go in there. All there. No, not aircon. That's the wrong one. All there. And here you can see that. So what they're going to do is they're tokenizing real world assets onto the blockchain, on the Kusama blockchain. So that's why I say the ugly cousin. It's like what Kusama is the cousin of Polkadot, right? And all there is the cousin of centrifuge. However, here they don't even show the market cap on current market cap, but I think it has like somewhere between 8 or 30 million, very low market cap, and we can see it's been going down since it launched. And that's also why should it go up? Because nobody's using it yet, right? Because the Web 3.0 is not really fully operational yet. These are the winners of tomorrow. These are the winners of tomorrow. And you can see it is down after 83% from its all-time high. But anyway, I think it's going to go way higher than its previous all-time high. And in case you don't know what to do, well, then you can go in and stake some stable AUSD, together with some alt-air tokens and receive 269. I love 69, by the way. APR. Now, what a lovely thing. I think there's a good way to end the Sunday. I love you all, you know that. And love from India. I'm so happy. I'm so happy when somebody also from India is here. And I actually watch most of the news that I watch there from India. Because it seems you can, at least they are a little bit independent, and that's really what we need these days. It's very, very, very difficult to find independent news, right? The West, they only from their way, and the Russian only from their way. And India is also somewhere in between, I think, when it comes also to these, let's say, geopolitical tensions. But it is always good to have a millionaire from India.
To be a millionaire!
Anyway, guys, stay as you are. Love yourself first. Stay strong. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, right? And remember, don't have a plan B. Stick to where we are, because we will remain or become among the 1% of tomorrow.